So I woke up this morning and I was thinking I definitely want to do something around Sarah Mack's stacks, and actually wanted to pull out this particular autobiography by Marian Anderson, My Lord, What a Morning. And I wanted to pull this particular book out because I was trying to think about who were the people that were impactful to uh, in the mind of my grandmother. And I think that Marian Anderson was one of those people. Marian Anderson was known as the Lady of Philadelphia. And in looking through some of the notations that my grandmother made in this text, it seemed like she really kind of seized on what was Marian Anderson's philosophy. So I'm going to actually read from a little segment here where my grandmother's actually written in the margins philosophy. As I have said, I take my meals in my room. That is my preference. If I wanted to take them elsewhere, I would. I assume that there are hotel managements that are happier to have me dine in my room. It is not because they have objections, but because they feel other guests might complain, or so the explanation would go. If I were inclined to be combative, I suppose I might insist on making issues of these things, but that is not my nature. And I always bear in mind that my mission is to leave behind me the kind of impression that will make it easier for those that follow. So also on this back page, my grandmother's kind of outlined Marian Anderson's philosophy, in my view. Number one, leave a place better for the ones who follow you, no matter how rude or prejudiced the treatment you receive. Number two, her closeness and love of family, the love, devotion, and support shown to her by her church family. And then there's a third point that's not finished here. It says the care and support. And I'm thinking that there might have been another sheet of paper that my grandmother had inserted that is not here in the book. But I do want to just kind of focus just a little bit on that idea of leaving a place better for the people who follow you. Particularly today, we've all endured a weekend of many, many protests breaking out in every state in the United States. And I remember looking at some of the images on social media, and I saw a young woman holding up a sign saying, "This isn't our ancestors' protest," or "This isn't our ancestors' movement, I'll F you up." And I thought to myself, no, this is our ancestors' movement. And resistance comes in many forms. Now, I don't think that anyone looking for resistance tactics will find them in My Lord, What a Morning. But what you will find is a woman who was a pioneer and the first, and had to endure ill treatment throughout the 20th century. Marian Anderson was born in 1897. Actually, she was born February 27th. And so that means she's a Pisces like me. Her birthday is one day after mine. And she died in her 90s. She was 96. And so she basically saw the entire 20th century and endured many, many indignities and dealt with them with grace. And so this makes her philosophy even more important because she is mindful that she is pioneering her place in terms of pursuing a life of music and singing opera, and that there will be some people coming behind her. And she wanted to make sure that she left places better than she found them. And then just some people that come to mind who do follow in her footsteps, a Leontine Price, who is still with us, a Jessie Norman, who just passed away last year and began some of her formal training at Howard University. I can't help but support all forms of resistance. I support the forms of resistance of my students who are for the first time participating in very public acts of protest, and I support that. But I also support Marian Anderson thinking about the people who are coming behind her and enduring some indignities that she only alludes to in the book. And I want to celebrate her resistance as well, because her resistance, I believe, was endurance and thinking about creating a path for those who were coming behind her. And I want to celebrate that today and celebrate that from Sarah Mack Stacks. So thank you for listening.